Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by Living to Do's review of Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 9, called A Last Gift. Before I get started with the review, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I thank you in advance and I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's get started with this episode. I really liked it. It was fast moving, really good, the pace. The last part, a little wonky, but I still enjoyed it. What did you think about this particular episode?
I thought this episode was great with them bringing all the characters together that they brought in the episode. I thought it was really cool.
In the first scene, we see simultaneously Kane and Tariq, and they're both headed to the office where Sachs and Davis work. Tariq is there because he is going to Sax's office to look through his stuff to see if they have information on Tasha, his mother's whereabouts, because Tariq knows that Sax has that bit of information, and now that he's dead, he is going to sift through the office, I guess, before anybody else gets there. And then we see Kane. He's calling Davis, trying to get Davis and get a hold of him. He's not reaching him, so he's going to his, which is weird. If it's a Saturday, why are you going to his office?
That's what I was thinking, because there was nobody in the office, and Kane's rushing over there. I'm headed to the office. Like,
Yeah,
what do you think is there?
like it's business hours. I don't know if it's a weekend, but there's nobody in the office when it gets there. But Kane and Tariq meet up. They see each other. Kane is blaming Tariq for having Effie arrested. I think this is the first time Tariq knows about it.
This is the first time Kane's explaining what's happening and that Lauren is alive, and Tariq is clueless, acting as if he's clueless to the situation.
Mm-hmm. David. Oh, then they start fighting. Well, because they were talking about Effie and Tariq threw the first punch when I think because he was telling him that he was seeing Effie in a kind of way. He was kind of saying that and saying, you left him to a real man type of thing. And Tariq threw the first punch. I think it was over Effie, is why they fought.
And this.
Fighting over, hitting each other, tearing up these people's cubicles, throwing computers on each other. When Davis does come into the office and breaks it up.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it was. He broke up the fight and he told, Kane told Davis about Effie needing to have a lawyer. She needs representation at the jail. Then Kane leaves. And then Tariq and Davis are still in the office. And they discuss that Sachs had a Whitman file, information on Monet. And so they just, I guess, Davis thinks, well, if Sachs had that file, then the feds have that file. And now he knows he's in hot water. And I guess I don't know what they know, but they know. What do they know?
I don't know what they know. I don't see the importance of that file.
Well, they know about the fingerprints of Lorenzo, though. That, right?
Lorenzo's dead, though.
Yes, but they know he was at a crime scene with a crime scene of Mecca.
But they're both dead. So I don't see the importance of this file.
Yeah, you're right. Good call. Yeah. But they have some information on Monet. I guess some of her bad dealings and things like that. So the next scene we have Effie. She's in jail.
Oh, I know why the files are important.
Oh, why?
To connect the RICO. That's what they're for.
Oh, to connect the RICO. Okay. Again. Okay. Effie is in jail, and the DA Blanc, no, Jenny and the DEA Blanca, uh, they want to talk to her. I guess get stuff on the RICO or have her flip so they can get the real person they want, which is the Tejadas or Tyrique. And all Effie is doing is lawyer, alert, or attorney. She's not talking. She's a real seasoned criminal, and she knows what she should do when she's in this position. Um, so they leave, and she's going to get, I guess her attorney will come in due time. Meanwhile, Jenny she got a call that Saxe has been killed, and she goes to the morgue to view his body, which was so sad. It was a great scene that she acted out. It seemed like genuine pain for,
Great acting.
Yeah, it was good. Last time I guess we'll see Saxe. After that, we see Braden. I guess he's going to have a meetup with Kane. And he's in some alleyway waiting for him. And this car comes speeding at him. And he knows it's Kane. He's calling out to him. And Kane
ain't trying to hear that. He is zooming. He is bumping his music. He ain't hearing a word.
And he purposely hits him with the car. And Braden's knocked down. He gets out the car. He's mad, puts a gun to his face. He's mad because he didn't kill Effie, and that's why they're in the predicament that they're in. Then we see Monet. She gets a letter from Saxe. Saxe was killed the night before. How does she get a letter in the mail from Saxe? He's been dead less than 24 hours and he got mail delivered. In the letter, Saxe is telling Monet that Tyrique is to blame for all this. And that Tyrique is working with the feds. Which isn't true. Okay, another thing that happened, these letters must be recently written because the letters also indicate Diana's recent arrest.
Correct.
Which is interesting. She was just recently arrested. You made these letters that recently?
If you think about it, possibly Cooper could have given these letters to somebody and he could have just handed this particular one off to the Tejada's house. This one in particular.
And this one in particular.
Because it's very close to
maybe
everything.
You know what? Good point. Okay. Now we see Braden in the hospital. He was beat up enough to be admitted into the hospital.
Looking like Anthony Davis.
Really? I wonder how he got in that hospital. How did he get there?
I don't know. Ken left him, so
he was on the ground. He was able to drive himself there, I guess. And Tyrique meets him in the hospital. It comes to see him, and he wants Braden to do something about his uncle Lucas. And Braden says, that's family. He can't, but he wants him to do something, like just inform on somebody, do something, take action. Next, we see Monet. She's in the bar with a little hip-hop outfit. And she gets a visitor from a lady named Evelyn. That's who? What's her name? Evelyn?
The mom of the Gordo guy.
What's their last name?
The Castillos.
Castillos. Okay. And she's there to confront Monet about this viral video that went out with her son, Drew, talking about his love is gone. So that is an indication to Evelyn that Drew had something to do with the disappearance of Gordo. He's been missing for a while and maybe even dead. They argue. She leaves and Drew and Kane talk to Monet and they've come to the conclusion that those people know that Drew did something, and so they must be killed. And there's 4 of them: her other 3 remaining sons and herself, because they're going to be a problem. So that's what they're coming up with, that they have to go somehow, some way. Okay, we have, is it Obi? Obi and Tyrique. They're in the distribution center where Tariq is asking for time to sell the drugs because they're building a RICO case on him, and he needs a little time. And while he's asking for this time, Obi's in the middle of torturing a man, like pulling his teeth out of his mouth with some like pliers, and of course no Novocaine. And the man's screaming in pain. And so Obi is going to grant this extra time, like 72 hours, if Tyrique can get him some green cards. I guess to get some people into the country. And what was interesting about this scene is Obi's torturing this man, taking his teeth out his mouth as he's tied to a chair. And he stops, they untie him to a chair. And the way that man walked out of the area like nothing was wrong. You know, if someone's taking your teeth out your mouth, you'd be slouched over, you're in pain. He's all erect, just standing up. It was just like, oh my God, they needed to redo that scene. People, go back and check that out. It's like, you would not be walking like that if you had that much pain.
He got up all excited, like, oh, where are we going next?
He just bounced straight up. It was funny when you look at it. Poor acting. Okay, so in the next scene, we have Tate and Tyrique. Tyrique went to Tate to ask for those green cards. So that's who his connect will be. And Tate asked Tyrique about Weston Holdings. He's been hearing some rumors about them, and Tyrique is telling Tate, yeah, everything's cool there. They're on the up and up. He hasn't heard anything. Everything's fine. And then we see Tate in the next scene. He's talking to an investigator. I don't know if a guy from the SEC who's looking into the Weston company, and the teacher who is, I guess, who's brought this person in. They're talking to Tate on the street about Weston Holdings. And Tyrique tells this investigator guy that Weston Holdings is dirty. And so they're going to, something wasn't adding up as it was anyway in his investigation, but this little bit of information is going to help him.
It was Tate that told the dude, not Tariq. But
yeah, Tariq. Tate told the SCC guy. But he's basing this on after asking Tyrique about the business. He knows Tyrique to be a known liar. I don't know when he knows to believe Tyrique and when not to believe Tyrique.
He knows somehow, some way, I guess.
Isn't that because Tyrique told him about the drug bust, all the drugs? Why didn't you not believe him then?
That's true.
But he knows.
Oh, I know why. He says, how do I know to trust you, Mr. St. Patrick? He says, because you're always a businessman at heart.
Okay. All right. That was, yeah. Okay.
Because the Russians were affecting the business.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Good one. All right. So, Effie is in jail, and Davis, he comes in to represent her, and she's mad. She doesn't want his representation, and so she, they talk a little bit, and he wants her to get serious with this, but she doesn't want to be seen or be represented by him, so he leaves. So then we go to the next scene, which is Weston Holdings. We're in the company, and there's an FBI raid. Robert Weston is Braden's dad, and he has to hold a conference meeting to find out. He's asking about his brother's whereabouts. Lucas, they don't know where he is. He's nowhere to be found. He cleared out his. Did he clear out his office?
I believe him and all his belongings were gone.
Okay. So Robert Weston believes Kiki knows something.
Correct.
So he asks Kiki, "Where's Lucas?" She's, "I have no idea." She had just recently talked to Braden. He's there too, and Braden wants her to flip on Lucas, right? But she doesn't want to do that because her parents worked so hard or whatever to get her where she is, and she doesn't want to. I guess she
for nothing.
You're right. She's going to try to lay low. And then Braden came clean with his father, saying he saw something with the books. He asked his uncle about it, and basically he knows that his uncle was lying and that something is going on. This is the first time Robert Weston has heard this, so he knows that the FBI is there because something dirty is going on in his company. The next scene, we have Jenny. She's getting back to her office, and Blanca is following her, and she finds a letter that has been delivered. This is where I see a letter. It looks like the post office delivered it. Wasn't there a stamp on it?
It was. There was. And it's funny because Jenny's very close to Sax, so you think that she would know what his handwriting looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So she should know if it was written by him or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like it's not his handwriting because it doesn't throw her off as if it's someone else's handwriting besides Sax.
It's mailed to her. I think I saw a stamp or like a U.S. postal delivered it, which he just died. She just saw him in the morgue, and you got a letter on your desk from him by the mail. Huh. So I just thought it was just delivered a little too fast. Okay. So we have the DA, which is Blanca, Jenny, the DEA, and they're in the police station, and they come across Davis. And they confront him, saying they know he spoke with Effie, and they know about the spilt coffee and him passing a note to Diana. Did I say Effie? To Diana.
I think you did.
This was to when Diana was arrested. They have cameras on them, so they know that he was there visiting, and he tells them, or they tell him, that there's no audio, so they don't know what was said. And when he's asked directly about this, was he there doing this, with the cameras rolling, they catch everything, and he said, what, like, he didn't recall?
I don't recall.
The cameras recall. They see. He got really mad at them. Oh, he cussed at Jenny. Jenny cussed at him. She was mad. Good scene by her. She's really doing some good acting.
They both lost someone close to them, and it was like a weird scenario on how it happened.
This is where the next scene, Braden and Tyrique meet up. And Tyrique is trying to talk Braden into killing his uncle. But Braden doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to be like Tyrique. Just a cold-blooded human being. He doesn't, just killing people at the whim and having no heart about it. But he needs Braden to step up or they're all going down. So back at the Weston family home, Trace is running through the house with his complaining that their assets, their personal assets have been frozen. The feds have frozen the assets because they're tied to the Weston company. And as this is happening, the feds are knocking on the door, and they come and they take Robert Weston, the father, to the police station to talk to him. And Braden is trying to talk his father out of it, and he's telling him, "You don't have to do this." And his father's willingly going to the police station, and he tells him, "Doing the hard thing is sometimes the only thing you can do." This is very interesting. Advice from his father. So after that, we have Lucas. He's calling Agent Medina. He called into them. He wants to kind of make a deal. He's trying to get protection and immunity from any prosecution. And what he's going to give them is he's going to tell them all about this drug ring that is happening within his company. And that they need to look towards Crash Coin. Look into that and you'll find out, all the goings on with this drug business. So we see, after this, we see Evelyn. She's at her restaurant with her family, which is her 3 boys. They're in their restaurant and they're closing up for the night. And those New York places of business, they have those, what do you call that? A gate. Those big gates that they lock the business up so you can't break the windows and whatnot. And they're closing up, and then Drew and Kane come behind and lock them into the restaurant, and then they shoot gas in the restaurant to kill them all. And then they go in and they go check to make sure everybody's dead. And Evelyn she's alive. She's dying. And, Drew is saying that he's sorry that he had to do this. He's sorry that he killed, basically, Gordo. And her last breath, where she's talking very fine if she can barely breathe with this gas, but she's telling Drew, "It is your mother, Monet, who wanted Lorenzo dead." And then he kills her. He puts his hand over her nose and mouth, and she dies. And then Kane, I guess he checked the other people, and he comes over to Drew and he says, "Did she say anything?" And Drew said no. He didn't share with his brother what Evelyn had told him. That was so sad. This how they killed the whole family like that. Just killing everybody. So we're at Tariq's dorm room, and he has a visitor as he's trying to pack up. I guess he's trying to find his
piece and his gloves, his mask, all his essentials.
And Diana comes. She blames him for having her arrested. And he's like insulted. You know what they did to my mother? You think I'm working with the feds? Well, he runs off. Tariq runs. He was running out he was hurried.
He was trying to get to
Braden's uncle. Okay.
And Diane popped in.
And he's trying to get her out of the room when he gets a call from RSJ. And he's mad. RSJ is mad at Tariq because RSJ said that Tate blew the cover of the Ponzi scheme to the feds or the SEC. This is news to Tariq. What? I just told that man everything was fine. While this is happening, Diana is circling back after being kicked out of Tariq's dorm room. She goes back in there and she's looking all around. I don't even know what she's looking for. Just something. But she looks...
I think she's looking on proof of him being like...
Oh, with the feds? Mm-hmm. And she looks under his bed where he has a whole bunch of wads of cash. Seems like you could hide it a little bit better than that.
That was very bad.
And she finds a file and she opens it up and she sees that this is a file on Monet, and it had prints of Lorenzo, her dad, at the murder scene of Zeke. She doesn't understand all this, but I guess she thinks maybe Tyrique is with the feds because he has this file. Diana and Drew, they're at the penthouse, and they discuss the findings of this file. They believe now that Monet had Lorenzo killed. And I think Kane came in too later discussing something. He kind of clarified some information about Zeke's killing. And I guess he tells
He connected the dots on something for Drew, and then Drew was like, well then, if that's the case.
But they still think Tyrique has something to do with this?
I think they're off. I think they're not even thinking about that anymore.
Okay.
This is like a real big deal news for them.
So they go to their home where Monet lives, the Tejada home, and they confront her with all this information that they had their father killed. So I guess Kane didn't believe it at first because he didn't think his mother was that evil to kill their dad or to want their dad killed. And all three kids are mad at her. They fight with her. Diana's all up in her face. And she kicks them all out of her house. She really wanted to get at Diana. Oh,
I didn't really want to get at her.
Oh my God. So now the kids know that she had something to do with the killing of Lorenzo. Tariq found Lucas's residence or his whereabouts through a contact. And he is, I guess he's preparing to kill Lucas. He's putting on gloves anyway, so you know them. They're nothing for them to kill somebody. Meanwhile, inside Lucas's house is Braden. Braden is trying to reason with Lucas. Lucas is insulting him, calling his friends ghetto, and he's not afraid of anybody. You're a drug. You sell drugs, which is worse than what I'm doing, which is white collar crime. He's just going to blame it on Kiki and Robert. They're out on the balcony when this discussion is happening, and this infuriates Braden to the point where Braden pushes his uncle over the railing of his high-rise penthouse apartment, where Lucas falls onto a car, which he is killed immediately. Well, this is where Tyrique is standing. What good luck!
He could have hit Tariq.
But it saves Tariq a kill. He had the gloves to put on, and he'd get ready to go up there and do business. And Braden had to do the hard thing, like his father said, and he had to push his uncle over the banister, killing him. That's his first kill.
That is.
That's his first kill.
You've been waiting all season.
Yeah, now you're like Tyrique. Good for him. I can't believe he won't blame it on Robert and Kiki.
The only two people that had his back.
So Tyrique just says, well, he's off for the afternoon. So he walks away. We see Kane. He's dressed up in a suit and glasses and a briefcase. He's somewhere within the jail sitting on a bench. He's been called in, and we see him walking in to the holding room where you meet with your lawyer in jail to meet with Effie. And Effie's like, you're going to get in trouble for this. And then he said something like Davis has sent him down there because there's no audio. But this is what I don't understand. If he did that, I guess he wants you to talk sense into her. But Kane is telling her to flip on Tyrique. I don't think Davis would say that.
Sent that message.
Yeah. Did you catch that?
I caught it, and I was wondering, why would they flip on the same side? Onto the same team?
Well, she didn't want his representation. Her real lawyer was going to come, and she, they got in a little tiff, and he basically cussed her, and he left. That was interesting. I just thought about Davis wouldn't flip on Tyrique like that. So we see Tariq. He's outside trying to get into his sports car when he is confronted by Two Bit. Two Bit is looking for some money because he got a letter from Sax. Sax has all the time in the world to write these letters that will be delivered upon his death that just happened hours ago. And the letter had, I guess, Tasha's address.
Her whereabouts.
Her whereabouts.
Correct.
So Sax told Two Bit upon his death, I'm giving you this information. This is Tasha's address. So Two Bit is trying to blackmail Tyrique and giving him some money. Tyrique doesn't have any money. I guess he's paying this guy. Oh, no, he's low on money because he's paying Tate $5,000 a week. So he gives him his sports car, and they trade cars, basically. He gets the guy's hoopty. He drives away in this hoopty. So as he's driving away in the hoopty, I guess he's trying to find his mother, because the bad people are going to know her whereabouts and kill her. He calls Tamika. That's his lawyer. And he tells her that please get somebody, the marshals, on my mom, because people know her whereabouts now. And she doesn't even know how this could be possible, but she will get the marshals down there. So the marshals have been contacted, and looks like Tyrique knows the whereabouts. I guess from that letter, he gets to this house. He's laying low because there's people guarding the house, and he sees his grandmother outside on the steps receiving groceries from Tasha. Tasha is supposed to be in the witness protection program. Your mother is not with, I don't think the grandmother went with them. She didn't go with them. So Tasha should have no contact with her mother. That's not how it works. When you go as a unit, and you go together, and everybody else who didn't go, you just don't see them anymore. You don't be getting groceries for your mother. That doesn't work that way. We also see somebody walking up to the same house in black jeans, and we hear Tommy's voice. Tommy's at Tasha's house. And he's killing the people that are guarding the house. And he goes inside the house, and he confronts Tasha. He puts a gun to her, and, she's trying to talk him down. We're family. Don't kill me in front of my daughter and my mom. And he's about to shoot her, it appears, when Tyrique comes in, puts a gun, covers his mother with his body, and he points the gun to Tommy. And, he doesn't want to have to do this, but, if you kill my mother, I'm going to have no choice but to kill you. And Tommy's like, well, you killed your dad, so killing me won't be nothing for you. At that time, somebody is walking in the house. Now, and he gets shot. Tommy turns around and shoots him. Only thing with that is, if you are a marshal and you see dead bodies outside, you take precaution. He just walked into the house like, he just came home from work.
All your buddies are just laying on the ground.
You just stroll in. No, you're not on guard. And anyway, crazy acting. And Tommy shoots the marshal. And somebody at the same moment knocks out Tyrique. Somebody hits him over the head with something. And I'm like, who would have done that?
The only person it could have been is Tasha.
And why would she hit her own son over the head?
Because she didn't want Tariq to kill Tommy, I think.
Okay, I just don't understand that. He's gonna kill you? What? He came to kill you anyway.
If you think about it, maybe Tommy won't kill Tasha because Tasha knocked out Tariq when Tariq was going to shoot Tommy.
Maybe.
That's what I think, but we don't know.
Okay, maybe. Maybe you're right. That's better than because I can't think of another reason why, you would do that.
I think maybe Tasha doesn't want to have that on his mind that he killed Ghost and Tommy.
I believe her knocking out Tariq, saving Tommy, shows Tommy that I don't want you dead.
And
so don't want me. Yeah, I saved you, save me.
Because we all know Tariq was going to shoot first.
Maybe that could be it. That's good. That's good. So, Tyrique is laid out on the floor, and the next thing we see is Tyrique waking up in the hospital with a head wound. And Tamika, his lawyer, is talking to him while he's, lying in the bed, saying, he's asking what happened, where's my mom? And Tamika said, Tasha, I feel like I'm talking about Escape and, the Escape group. They're sisters, Tasha and Tamika. And I think this woman is Tamika Scott on here. It's crazy. Anyway, Tasha what's her girl's name? Tamika tells Tyrique that his mom, Tasha, is missing. And whoever shot up all the marshals there might have Tasha too.
Might. Like that's not what they came to the house to get.
That part was so crazy. They have to explain it. I know there's one more episode before the season ends, but that was it. What did you think about those last couple of scenes?
Real quick, with the letters from quote unquote Sachs, for the timeline that they were written, it was after Diana's arrest.
Yes.
So, real quick, I think that teacher's assistant C.I.Do. might have written them and put them in the right hands for the RICO.
You think that Trevor, Salim?
I think
he think he did that?
Possibly, because he's mad at Diane. He was gonna fire her from the distribution at the library.
But he's a CI for Jenny? I don't know.
I was just
that's
thinking
one
of
thing.
Something that's the only reason I could connect the letters to something or someone.
Okay.
And we just don't know about it yet. That's what I think, but I could be wrong.
That's interesting.
Because who is writing these letters and giving them to the right people?
But you thought Jenny recognized Sachs' handwriting to be his handwriting.
Correct. Maybe Sachs gave them to the dude. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
That's an idea.
And now here's another thing I want to bring up now that you said that. Before Tyrique got knocked out at that witness protection home or whatever, Tommy said that Monet gave him the whereabouts.
Correct.
So Tommy should be in Chicago. And all this happened last night when Sachs died. Wait a minute, how did Tommy get to New York that fast? Not just get to New York, drive. He's driving his car there. Flying was one thing. You drove from Chicago after getting this news. Go ahead. What do you think?
The only way Tommy could have been there that soon is if as soon as Monet opened that letter with the Tariq thing, that he might be a Fed, Monet would have had to call Tommy that instant.
And how did she know Tommy?
When she was at the grave about to kill Tariq or something, Tommy popped out and put a gun on Monet.
Oh.
That's how they know each other.
Okay, there's a connection. That is interesting. Those last few scenes were really kind of hard to swallow. They happened way too quick.
I agree.
For someone to knock out Tariq, where he ends up in the hospital, his mother is missing, and so is Tommy.
These last couple of episode endings have to be setting up the last episode to be perfect, I think.
This episode or this season has been running like it's the series finale. It's just so much has gone on, and it happened so quickly. It just seems like they were just trying to tie up loose ends for a series finale, but we know there's a season 4. Okay, well, that was really good. We'll be back next week for the final episode of season 3. Thank you for staying with us to the end. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate it, and we thank you in advance for your support. But we gotta go, 'cause what?
We got living to do.
Bye.